Fantastic. Okay. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order.
So moved.
Second.
Hold on, I got the wrong one here. I got the Finance Corp, sorry. My apologies. Okay. All right, we got everybody here except Caleb. He will be joining us later. Or do we have any comments on closed session items? No comments on closed session items. Fantastic. I need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved. Second.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Closed session we go.
Definitely.
How you doing, Patrick? Good? What grade are you?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior.
Thank you.
BN.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
getting
went there.
close. It's scary.
I went there.
Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and we're going to
66.
reconvene. Can I get a motion to reconvene, please?
My grandpa graduated in 67.
I get a motion to reconvene?
So moved.
Jim?
Okay, Jose's got the second. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and vote. Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Mr. Barrios? And I vote aye. Okay, we are back into open session. Okay, 3.1, we're going to do the oath of office. Mr. Cole, who's going to issue the oath? Who's got it?
Why don't we go in the middle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on, follow me.
And also, everybody, welcome. We have our new superintendent joining us for his first day, Mr. Carl Coles. So this is a first for both of them, actually. So this is great.
Can we, I'll take pictures for Chris and then we can post it or give it to his parents or his college application.
Student board member. Okay, ready? Raise your right hand. I, Patrick Singer,
I, Patrick Singer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the Constitution
and allegiance to the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation,
without any mental reservation,
purpose of evasion,
purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon
discharge the duties upon
which I'm about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Patrick.
All right. All right, fantastic. We've already called the regular session to order. Caleb will be joining us in the near future here. Okay, let's go ahead and 3.5, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. R, would you be so kind as to lead us?
Yes. Please stand. Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated.
All right.
Josh just said that too.
Look at, see, boom, I said you're going to be here.
magic.
You showed up. All right, Mr. Castaneda's joined us. See, I told you guys. You're good. Okay, if I can get a approval for the agenda, if I get a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Let's vote. Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, 4.1 Skills USA National Competition Students.
I'm honored tonight to present some students who attended the National Skills USA competition this summer in Atlanta, Georgia, in June. Yes, it was really hot. You think this is hot? It was hot and humid. We had two teachers who have been very committed to Skills USA, and they have taken students regionally as well as state and to the nationals. And it is part of the career technical education program that really teaches kids a lot about leadership. There were over 10,000 teenagers there. Yes, I brought back COVID to California. But it was a wonderful, wonderful trip. And it was very well done. And for 10,000 students in a city in downtown Atlanta, I don't think I've ever seen such a well-behaved group ever. But also, we have two teachers, well, a teacher and an office admin assistant who volunteered to go because our teachers were not able to go. One was moving and one had some personal family issues to deal with. And so I was honored to be able to chaperone as well. But Selena Gregg took her time and attended with us, as well as Jill Messer from Hook Junior High, even though they weren't her students. But she's good with middle school kids, believe me. So, tonight, I'd like to introduce you to these 5 students. One was not able to attend, but Juan Barrera, Alexander Francisco Jose, with Lakeview Leadership Academy. These were Miss Osterberg's robotics students, and they received the silver medal in the mobile robotics technology. Second grade. And it was a great honor. He did not bring his silver medal, but they did a wonderful, great job. The next one I would like to introduce you to is Alex Aguilar and Richard Geiger from Lakeview as well, Miss Osterberg. They placed 6th in urban search and rescue for the middle school team. This, and please forgive me, this, here's the silver medal.
This one's from regionals.
This one is from regionals.
And this one's from, I forgot.
The local. And so I will have these young men go around because they also have something for you as well. The state pins. In the Skills USA, with these students from all over the country, every state has a special pin, and some of them are cooler than others. Like North Carolina had a pirate that had lights, its eyes lit up. But it took a bit of learning to make sure that they all received them. But I had the honor of joining Brittany Rodriguez, who is Miss Heidi Shaw's student, and she placed 4th in practical nursing, and I had so much fun with her. I mean, she was just a blast. However, we did some serious walking up and down the hills in the humidity, but we had a wonderful, wonderful time. And they all want to go back. I'm willing to go back with them because it was that exciting. It really was, the leadership, but seeing kids from all over the United States. All right, guys, somebody's got some pins. Pull out the pins. Where are your? Okay.
Oh.
Yes. Now,
Mr. Moman?
yes, Ms. Shaw has some.
Oh, Carl.
These are the pins that we'll pass around and show you for the different states.
Oh, cool.
And we had so much fun because it is a way for teenagers to go up and introduce themselves to teenagers from other states. And it's really exciting because even Brittany a little bit was a little apprehensive, but there's something exciting. I'm from California. We got all of California. Do you have North Carolina? Do you have Hawaii? The Virgin Islands, Alaska. And so, make sure they see all this. That was a blast. Last but not least, by far, I want to recognize 2 people that frankly I was not aware how involved. I knew that Heidi Shaw was because we spent a lot of money on Heidi. But I love Heidi. She is a wonderful, wonderful CTE teacher. She loves her students, and she never turns away students.
Oh, good job.
But what I was not aware is that Heidi's husband, Doug, is her right hand. And Doug goes all across the country with Heidi year after year and attends Skills USA. And the students love him like he's Uncle Doug. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's Miss Shaw and Doug. So one of the things at Skills USA, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but if you've been to Texas, they've kind of got a little bit of a, everything's big in Texas. So all these kids show up from Texas and they're all wearing those cowboy hats. Well, everybody wants a Texas cowboy hat, but those kids are made to swear on somebody's life that they will not give up those hats. And Doug has always wanted one of those hats. And I said, Brittany, I don't care about the pins. We can have fun with the pins. We're going to bring back Doug a hat. We got the Texas hat.
Don't mess with my hat.
Anyway, Doug has his Texas hat. And it was California who took it. Anyway, but thank you for taking time to allow me to honor the students, the parents, but especially the teachers and spouses that work so hard for our students. It means the world.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah, she's,
Can I get all our students to come on back up here 1 more minute?
All our students, come back up here.
Lorraine? Yes. Has Heidi moved? Has she left the high desert?
No, that was Sherry Ostrom.
Oh,
Back up to this way, back up to here.
So, this is an honor for me too, as a new superintendent. I'd like to present you with the district's challenge coin. So the way this works is you present it because of your excellence, and your foresight to say, you know, I'm gonna take on a new challenge, and I'm gonna do really, really well at it, and I'm gonna nail it, and all of you guys nailed this. So the way this works, I'm gonna shake your hand, and I'm gonna present you with the district challenge coin. Congratulations.
yeah, you guys come back a little bit further. Yeah.
Yeah, one way or the other.
you should get over there real quick. Yeah, because you're on our board. So, let's go back here. Hold on just a second. We want to get past.
Oh,
there you go.
okay, great. All right, everybody smile. Thank you, and just stay up here for a moment, because we have some more people.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you again.
Hi, real quick. I'm actually the parent of Alex Aguilar that went and attended Atlanta, Georgia. I just wanted to, stand here today and say thank you to you guys too for giving him the opportunity to go on this new journey. He's very ambitious to get there again this year. But I just wanted to say thank you because it really helped us support our son too, because me and my husband both traveled to Atlanta, Georgia to help support these kids. And we took them like snacks throughout the week to their hotel rooms to just make sure they were energized and stuff. But also for you guys to give them that opportunity, it's an amazing thing. And we just wanted to be able to continue to travel with all of the students because they did well, even her in nursing. So thank you so much.
Well, and thank the parents because you're the ones that do all the legwork, taking them to this, taking them to meetings, taking them to Skills USA. And someday I'd like to make it to the National Skills USA because I went to the local one before COVID and it was just amazing seeing all these people do all these things. It was just, oh, and Mr. Coles, can we make sure that the ones that couldn't attend will get one also?
Absolutely.
I figured that, but just forgot to ask. All right.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going to move into guidelines for public comment. We can, I think, Mr. Coles, I guess you're going to inherit that new,
Oh, reading
the dialogue here.
You're still playing the newbie craze.
It's right there. It starts right here, if you wish.
If you wish to address the board on any topic, including any item on the agenda, please submit your comments to the board president by completing the request to address the board card prior to the meeting and submitting it to the assistant to the superintendent. The president will recognize those who desire to speak either during the public comment section of the agenda or before the particular agenda item. Each speaker should move quickly to the microphone and announce your name before beginning your presentation. Meetings are taped for later transcription. Each speaker is allocated a maximum of 3 minutes. The president may choose to limit each topic to 10, no more than 20 minutes if substantial numbers of people wish to address the board on one topic. Testimony should be brief and to the point. Speakers should not repeat testimony already presented. Board action may not legally be taken on any item not specifically listed on the agenda. The board may ask such items be placed on the next agenda for consideration. Testimony is not protected from damage claims for slander. Public charges or allegations may result in legal actions being brought by those individuals. The board values constructive community comments and suggestions. It welcomes your participation in the democratic process.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Coles. All right, and then we do have several comments today, so please stay within the time frame. If I do have you stop, it's nothing personal. Just we're just strapped for time. Okay, so first one that we're going to have is Jennifer Lovelace.
What was the name?
Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer.
I was hiding in the back. I'm not a very good hider.
Okay, good evening. I'll wait till she's done.
Oh,
start the
okay,
time.
yeah, I understand.
Mine won't take 3 minutes anyway then.
I didn't bring us two.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay, I'm Jennifer Lovelace. That's Jennifer Longera, my Vanna White. Okay, I'm Jennifer Lovelace, the BVTA First Vice President and Grievance Co-Chair. I'm here tonight to raise awareness of how the district is sadly exploiting a loophole in our contract in a way that does not benefit our students. Jen just passed out a flyer that I made with the main points. But basically, the contract's class size language was written before Lakeview was a 7 through 12 school. The intent of this language regarding 7-period schools was for choice schools. Lakeview has 75% 7th and 8th graders and yet is considered a high school. Okay, I get that. However, this year, the district decided to exploit the article of the contract by treating Lakeview like a 7th period choice school. Lakeview is not a choice school in that it has a large special ed population, other high needs populations, and cannot choose who attends there. Their students are sitting in classrooms filled with 38 middle school students. I have classes that are near 38, but 38 10th graders is way different from 38 7th graders. We've been asked to make connections with our students, to build relationships. This is really hard with 38 in a class. It feels like herding cats just to get everybody doing the same thing at the same time. And I'm talking about 10th graders again. I am just starting to learn the names, but I know so very little about any of them. How do I build a relationship with kids when I am just busy managing the class? Now imagine 7th graders. All of you have been or currently are teachers. You understand what unreasonably large classes feel like. There is no reason for the district to load up classes to the max at this time. It is bad for teachers and will cause burnout, and is bad for students who probably feel no connection to their teacher or the subject matter. Please think about what I've said. Even if it's not explicitly stated in the contract, can't we do the right thing and put our students' needs first? Thank you.
Okay, the next one, I believe this is Kelly. Yes, that's it.
Kelly.
At first I was going to say Hughes, but then I need my
it's
glasses
Coogies.
probably so, but.
It rhymes with loogies. I teach
Yeah, yeah.
junior high. No, I got it. Hi, I'm Kelly Coogies, and I'm a math and science teacher at Lakeview Leadership Academy. I teach 8th grade. I have been with the district for 18 years. I've been at Lakeview for 15. I am from Victor Jr., which turned into Lakeview. I've been there the whole time. So I wanted to share some insight with you because now I'm one of the old people that need to stick up for the young people. So I'm here tonight to talk to you about our class size issue. So it's time to talk about the Lakeview-shaped elephant in the room. There is a running lack of equity and a breach of contract happening at my site. Lakeview Leadership Academy has been labeled as a middle and high school for the past few years. And in that time, we have stayed within the boundaries of the contract by having middle school teachers with no more than 192 students, with overages being compensated. But now that experienced union site representatives have retired and moved to different sites, our middle school teachers are being saddled with high school student numbers at 204. Despite the fact that this goes against the precedent of our previous years, even and especially under the high school banner, Hook is also in the similar labeling as us. We can't pick our population. We can't turn people away. So neither Hook nor Lakeview is a choice school, and we cannot control the population. Our classrooms are suffering because of it. After the COVID lockdown was lifted, rule enforcement at our site was lax during that time that we so desperately needed structure, and our school environment has suffered as a result. A majority of our students are far below basic and are uninterested in following rules that we are trying to enforce because they haven't been expected to do so, and in the increasing number of students in our rooms is not helping with this issue. 6 or so students added to each class with this kind of behavior is a burden to any teacher, but especially our newcomers, and we're all feeling the strain. So if you could please, it's making a disparaging against the middle school teachers and the high school teachers, because middle school teachers are sitting at 38 and some high school classes are 15 students or less. So it's not equitable across the board. And it's not making us very cohesive because it's building animosity. Our contract needs to be validated, and we need to have your help on getting us where we're at 192. We've been at 192 last year and the year before, and we were under the high school banner. So please consider that and get us back to 192. I would appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Etheridge was the last name. I can't see the first name. Chandra, thank you.
Hello, my name is Chandra Etheridge, and I am a teacher at Lakeview Leadership Academy. I've been with the district since 2001, been teaching since 2015. I also am here to talk about class sizes, but not in the way that that we're overcrowded. We are overcrowded. Everybody's overcrowded. I know that HR is doing their best to bring more teachers into the fold. I realize that, but as a union rep for Lakeview, and this is like my personal issue as well, I have 39 students in one of my classes, 38 in 4 of my classes, and I only have 36 seats. So we have to do the absent student shuffle on the days where I have more than 36 kids. And then I have 3 kids who just don't have a seat. They just fill in where they can. They said they've ordered tables, I don't know, but it's not fair to them, it's not fair to us. It is difficult. It is like herding cats. They're tough. 7th graders are my people. That's all I've ever taught. I love them. But man, they require a lot of energy, and just 3 more kids or 4 more kids is enough to throw off your entire balance. It is a contractual issue as well, because we are classified as a high school, and I get it, because we do. We need our students to be able to have valid graduation diplomas. We need to be WASP certified. There's none of us who don't understand why we're not classified as a high school. The problem is that we're a high school and a middle school, and past practice says middle schools are 192 or 36 students. Our counselors are following the rules. They're loading us all up at 38, 39, and we just can't do it. We just can't do it. So we are requesting to make sure that if we are forced to stay at 38, 39, we should at least be getting compensated for anything over 192. If you're at Hook and you have more than 192, you get compensated for every single student. I had, last week, I had 209 students, 209 7th graders, and I got compensated for 5 of them. And I should have been compensated for 20. So if you're looking for equity, and I read a quote in an article that Mr. Moman himself gave that says you can't treat our kids in a disparate way, it has to be equal, then you have to keep that in mind as well. Our kids are being loaded into classes where our students at Hook have smaller classes, their teachers have smaller classes, and even if they don't, they're getting paid for it. So we're just asking you to keep it equitable. We know you guys are working. We recognize that you guys are working. And we know it might take time, but in the meantime, we should be getting compensated at the same rate that the other middle school teachers are getting compensated. That's all I gotta say.
All right, thank you. Okay, Jennifer Longira.
I've been.
I was gonna say, that's payback, right? Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, I think they need probably a couple of people.
Good evening, board. I've got to lean over a little bit because some of us are taller than others. It's almost fitting that I'm behind Jennifer Lovelace and Miss Etheridge because I'm going to speak about the unprecedented, crazy numbers that are going on at Adelanto. It's absolutely like nothing I've ever seen. So good evening. My name is Jennifer Longuera, and I'm the second vice president of VVTA. But more than that, I'm a teacher. I'm also the department chair for social studies at Adelanto High School. I am fortunate enough to say that I have been a saint since the day Adelanto opened. Yay! And I couldn't be more proud of our site and our kiddos. I love my site, love my kids. So all that being said, though, let's talk about the numbers because they're not good. They're not good. Our enrollment is at an all-time high. I looked today, it's 2,230 students. And as of today, we currently have 23 teachers, 23 teaching on their prep. But beyond that, and not the same 23, we have 24 teachers, 24, who are far exceeding our case size load. Far exceeding. I gave you a list. You all can see which departments, which teachers, and those are the ones I know about that I personally spoke to every single one of those teachers. As an example, we have a Spanish teacher who is teaching on her prep, so she's teaching 6 periods a day. And she is still over her class size limit of 204 by 24 students. 24. That is, you are making us violate our own contract, which says not to exceed 4. In the math department, we have another teacher teaching on her prep, so she's teaching all 6 periods, and her class size limit of 204 is being exceeded by 16 students for a total of 220. In the social studies department, my department's not me, we have another teacher teaching on his prep and is still over his class size limit by 18 for a total of 222 students. Today, I was stopped in the parking lot by an art teacher who I hadn't even spoke to and said, Jen, I really need some help. I'm over by 17 kids. I'm an art teacher. I don't have the supplies for this many kids. She's very worried about running out of supplies. I myself do not teach on my prep. However, I am 8 students over. And I will tell you every day, and it's funny that you said herding cats, I said puppies today, like trying to keep them in a circle. When you have so many kids, it becomes just complete maintenance, just going around complete maintenance. And not a lot of teaching is going on because I'm having to be with my kids so much. Ms. Lovelace provided you with a list of teachers I have personally spoken with about their numbers, and while some don't mind, others in fact do mind, and have asked me, at what point are we going to say, no, we're not going to do it anymore? But everybody on our site respects our principal so much that they're willing to pitch in, but we're getting to the point where we're going to say no, because it's unmanageable for us. Let's see.
Time?
Is that my time?
Yeah, can you just wrap it real quick, 10
Okay,
seconds?
no, that's fine. A grievance was filed last week by Ms. Lovelace, and to date, we still have not heard anything. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, you, Jen. Appreciate it. Okay, Scott. Scott Hume.
Good evening. My name is Scott Hume. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. I'm also the husband of Loki Hume, who worked here for the district for many years. Both of us recently retired. This is not exactly the forum that I wanted to bring this particular issue to, but We made several contacts, my wife via email and text, and me via phone, to try and get this at least resolved, or at least started to be resolved. Today we found out in the mail that our medical insurance had been canceled by direction from the district to Kaiser Permanente. As you can tell, I'm not an email kind of guy. I'm a passionate kind of guy. I want you to feel my passion, okay? I would ask all of you in this table, anybody in this room, if you found out that your medical insurance has been canceled by your ex-employer, you would probably not be a very happy camper.
Amen.
As you can tell, I am not, and neither is my wife. The worst part about it is that we were told that we would probably not be reinstated for 7 to 10 days. I drove here from my home in Apple Valley. Fortunately, no accident. I return home, that may not be the case. My issue is that hopefully that we were not the only ones that this happened to, or maybe I should say, maybe I hope we were the only ones that this happened to, because that could be a major issue for the district. My question, and I'm not going to go away, I'm going to continue to call or come in to find out the answers that I need. Who's going to cover me if I have an issue between now and 7 to 10 days? The district going to take care of my medical benefits? They're going to write the check for that if I have to go to the hospital? Those are the answers that I want, and I would appreciate it if I would get an answer. Like I said, left a couple of messages today, did not get a reply. You know, I know it's just an issue, but to me, personally, and to my wife, it's a big issue. I hope, I didn't really want to bring this up, but I'm going to because it involves the department, that there have been people that have stood at this podium and accused of being retaliatory and eyeing people and picking on people, and I've seen that. And I hope it didn't happen to me and my wife, because we would be talking on a different set of terms if that is the case. Thank you, and I appreciate a call back or some kind of response soon.
Thank you, Mr. Hume. Appreciate it. Megan Singer.
Good evening. My name is Megan Singer. I am the Activities Director at Victor Valley High School. I've worked in the district for 19 years. I am a Jackrabbit parent. I have 2 daughters that graduated from Victor Valley High School. But today, first and foremost, I am a Jackrabbit baseball parent. I'm here to discuss the subpar situation that is the Victor Valley High School baseball facility. Since it was built, the district has built multiple state-of-the-art baseball facilities at other sites, and now it's our turn. There are 4 key things that our facility needs in order for our team to remain as successful as if they've been for the last 3 decades. This facility needs lights, a new backstop, restrooms, and lockers. The first 2 are safety issues. Because our school now gets out so late, our team will now have to practice and play in the dark, as there's no way for us to light the field. Or they'll have to play even earlier and miss even more academic instruction, which as a parent and educator is absolutely unacceptable. The backstop is crumbling. Every time a ball hits it, it sends wood splinters into the stands where our visitors sit. There are currently no restrooms within reasonable walking distance for our athletes, families, or opposing teams. There used to be a porta potty that was removed before last season started and never replaced. A simple facility with restrooms and lockers for our players and the opposing team will drastically improve the site. The facility is also not in compliance with ADA, which makes it virtually impossible for those with physical disabilities to attend and fully participate. Last year, I watched a man coming to watch his baseball player stumble over a curb and fall because he couldn't get his prosthetic leg over the curb to get down to watch them. And that's completely unacceptable. I ask that the board take into consideration the necessity of updating this facility as soon as humanly possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Singer. Marco. Marco? That's a Polo? I'm not sure how you pronounce the last name.
Spolci.
Spoli?
Spolci.
Spolci. Gotcha.
S-B-O-L-C-I, right?
Yep.
Spolci.
Spolci. All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm here as a baseball parent as well. I work for the railroad, and a lot of our rules are written in what they say in blood or lawsuits. That backstop we have there has a gap like this. Any foul ball could go through. Hit any parent, any player watching, any child sitting there watching their brother or sister. That backstop is a lawsuit waiting to happen, or an injury written in blood. Hopefully it doesn't take that long to get fixed. Also, lights. I mean, she nailed everything. You know, my son yesterday said he went to go find a corner to use the restroom, and a bunch of soccer girls came walking up, so he quickly turned tailed and run. So, I mean, it's simple things. A lot of these other schools aren't as competitive as us, and I mean, that shouldn't matter. But you need lights, need a backstop, need restrooms in a locker room. These boys are changing in the dugout. I mean, that's not right. So I'm not really big on public speaking, so kind of. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. So.
Mark, you did great. Marco, you did great. That's all right.
Amen, yeah.
Okay, Stephanie.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Olwin. I work over at Hook Junior High. I just wanted to reiterate what I did on the last board meeting about the district's first line creating their PO balance of the $9,995 for hiring consultants without board approval due to being under $10,000, and that it's later changed to a larger amount after it's approved to any amount up to $50,000. It's concerning because the district's hiring consultants to help and support district managers with their job duties. The resolution should be that the district first line requesting the consultant enters the appropriate amount of the PO and presents it to the board for approval for the correct amount to be paid to the consultant. This will allow transparency to both the school board and the public for what the consultant is being hired for. If someone is not fully qualified for a position, the upper management over the specific department should be informed when a consultant will be coming in to help the employee, not finding out the day of. If other positions within the district are required to be fully qualified for the position when they are hired, why is it different for management? The second problem that I wanted to address is I see that we are redoing some of the board policies. So some of the board policies with the merit system slash personnel commission mention should be updated. Some of them haven't been updated since 1995. Some of the examples that are in the board manual are Regulation 2436, the job description, Director of Classified Personnel Services, basic function, Policy 4111.1, affirmative action, Policy 4111, recruitment and selection under duties of personnel to rank candidates. This is a merit system function that is no longer in practice. Policy 4157, employee safety, Regulation 4161.12, workers' compensation, transitional work to return to work programs, Section G, and Policy 4212, appointment and conditions of employment. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, last but not least, Fran.
Thank you. My name is Fran Herdland. I work at Adelanto High School. I'm a teacher. I got multiple issues, so I might go over 3 minutes, but I'll try not to. They are all different, though. We're currently doing warm body counts on Wednesday, and that's a poor day to do warm body counts, in my opinion, because we all know we have some students who take a 3-day weekend. So Mondays and Fridays are bad, but then Wednesdays are bad too, because they have to stay home because their sibling is at home and they need the parent needs a babysitter or has no way to get them back and forth to school. So it would be better if you did those more body counts on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Another thing, we have money. Why can't we get Kleenex in the classrooms at every site? Tissues for the kids to use. I would think that would go hand in hand with the hand sanitizer and the wipes for wiping off the tables. Just a thought. And then also, we have kids who are foster kids, some are homeless kids. And I'm just going to read this how I wrote it. Can we use some of the excess money for a teacher who identifies the hungry kid? The cafeteria is under time constraints. They need to do their jobs and cannot be expected to feed a kid at the door at a moment's notice. Can each site get, as requested, so every site can decide for themselves, request a certain amount of money, maybe $50 a month, to maintain a food locker for the kid who the teacher identifies as hungry? And anybody who's been in the business long enough can identify that kid right away. And so we can send them up so they can get some food, so we can at least maintain that bottom level of Maslow's hierarchy of need, so that that kid can learn. And sometimes, well, every time, that's more important, getting the hungry kid fed, than whatever else we do in class. That is more important. Another thing, the water station at Adelanto that was put in, I'm glad to see it was there, but now, and we were told, you gotta put the thing in, you gotta wait and the water will cool down. I think it might be broke, because kids wait forever and it's hot water, hot water. You put a hot water in a metal, bottle, it's a nightmare. I ain't drinking that. And then also I had kids today ask, why is the water coming out white? And at Adelanto, we had the issue of, a couple of years ago, the water coming out brown. All right, not good. Then I know we're under new leadership now, so I want to reintroduce community schools. Can we start under the new superintendent an exploratory committee to investigate turning Goodwill as it transitions into a new location as a community school, and possibly having Adelanto become one, because it is a hub for need in the city of Adelanto. Total different city, different set of rules. We should have one there and there. And if you know anything about community schools, I'm not talking about community day schools that are for special ed students. This is to serve an underrepresented population, the things they need. And when you hear this discussed in the big picture, it's almost like the school operates many different things under the canopy of the school. In other words, we can supply them clothes, we can rent, we know where to send them for rent subsidies, we know where to send them for a meal, we know how to get them temporary housing, and one person at the school is the umbrella for that. And I presented this at LMI, and I have 2 copies. I'll give it to the superintendent. But this outlines what community schools do and why, as we transition Old Cobalt, we should really look into it, because the complaint always is that it's too much of a traffic jam or something. Well, while we're doing it, we can build a new way into the school. There's multiple access points and everything and things like that. That's just one thing. And I also, under the new leadership, look forward to the continuation of LMI, and hopefully that will continue. And that's my
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, let's go ahead with our student representatives here.
Mr. President, may I just say something real quick?
Yes, of course.
Mike, I'd love to set up some time with VVTA to kind of really go over these numbers that were being presented today. We got to work on this. Okay. Mr. Hume, you're going to receive a phone call tomorrow. We're going to get to the bottom of what's going on with that insurance. Okay, we will absolutely do that. And then, Ms. Singer and gentlemen out there, are you nice to your umpires? Okay, then we're going to look at that baseball field and figure out what's going on. If you're nice to your umpires, we promise. So. Okay. Thank you for the information on the board policies. We'll look into that too. Appreciate everybody's comments today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Coles.
you, Mr. Coles.
I played on that baseball field 22 years ago, and I don't think I think the only thing that's changed is the paint, maybe, right? So, yeah. Oh, I know who Juan is. I know who Juan
the
is.
coach back there.
We're going to get out there. We're going to take a look at it, my friend, okay? You just can't tell that other baseball coach that you know across the pond over there, all right? Okay, let's go ahead. At the first one we have is going to be Hazel Dominguez.
Good afternoon. My name is Hazel Dominguez. I'm the Executive Vice President at Victor Valley High School. Our new school year has started with a bang of new activities and events for our students to take part in. Our back to school night was Tuesday, August 23rd, with a record numbers of students and parents in attendance. Last Friday, our honor roll students were recognized. We had 461 students in grades 10 through 12 with a 3.0 or higher, and 136 with a 4.0 or higher. Football season has started, and along with it, many events this coming week is the bell game against Apple Valley High School, and on Wednesday night we'll be hosting a bonfire rally in support of the football team, a standing long tradition. This week is September 19th is our homecoming week, which will include a spirit week, a blood drive, pep rally, football game, and dance. We invite you all to join for some events in our week-long celebration. The end of September will bring our drama department fall production of Roots on September 28th to the 30th. And looking into October and beyond, we are excited to create meaningful experiences for our students and staff. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. The long-standing traditions of Victor Valley High School brought me back. That's great. Okay, we're going to go with Victor and is this Kiara? Hook Junior High? You guys take, all right, there we go. You guys can come up together. That's okay. Support.
Junior High.
How are you? Good, good. Hi, how are you? Good, good.
Hello there.
Hi there.
Imagine, believe, achieve. Wow. You know, they're green and yellow. Did you go there too?
Good evening, Victor Valley Union High School board members and staff.
My name is Kiara Henry, and I am a 7th grade ASB student.
And I am Victor Jorge, an 8th grade ASB student at Hook Junior High School.
Over the last month at Hook Junior High, we have had many exciting activities. Leadership met the week before school to get to know each other and sell PE clothes at orientation. Leadership also sold PE clothes for 2 days during the school day and 1 evening to parents.
We had a lock-in on August 19th from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., where we learned lots of leadership skills as well as team building skills.
Last week, on Friday, August 26th, we had our back-to-school dance, which we were able to offer to our 2 students free, due to our amazing staff that paid for our DJ and donated to the snack bar. We had 275 students attend this dance. It was amazing. Students were well behaved and had a great time.
Last night, Wednesday, August 31st, we had our back to school night. We had a taco truck and Kona Ice there to support us, as well as other clubs and groups sharing information. We had many families show up to show their support for Hook and their students.
Next month, on Friday, September 16th, we will have our outdoor family movie night where we will show Minions: The Rise of Gru. It will be a $1 donation for all that plan to attend.
We are looking forward to an amazing rest of our school year.
Thank you for your time and have not a good night, but a great night.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Excellent job, you two.
Yeah, great job. Diana from Adelanto.
Thanks.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm here from Adelanto High School. I'm Michael Huerta, and this is.
And I'm Diana Tepux, and I'm a senior in high school attending Adelanto.
I as well. I'm the vice president of our electoral board at Adelanto High School. And this past month, we have done activities and events to help encourage and unite our students. On our first day, we had a welcome back event where we had balloons and a literal red carpet rolled out for our students to come back and feel welcomed as we cheered them on and gave them words of encouragement. On the first week, we had Club Rush. There we have multiple clubs from around the school come out during lunch and give information to the kids where they learn about their clubs and hopefully join. We had 2 clubs, Helping Hands, which volunteers and helps around the school and gives students an opportunity to serve their community. We also had the Auto Club, which is very popular at our school because they host a car show at our school, which brings in lots of donations and funding for the club. On the second week of school, we also had Freshman Friday. On that day, we had after school, we had a day where freshmen could come in and eat ice cream, talk to the teachers and each other, and make friends and unite. We have a post that we share on social media, which is called Saint Spotlight. On this post, we shared the past events on the past week, including clubs, games, and anything new that happened during the week. At the end of the post, we also have a staff spotlight. On the staff spotlight, we highlight a certain faculty member from the school and share like a fun fact from them. On our first home game, we had a football tailgate. At the tailgate, it's just an opportunity for the students to come by, have fun, free food, snacks and drinks, and play games and just have fun before the game to get their spirits up. At the game, it was our second annual community football game. At this game, we invite members from the community, including firefighters, the Riverside Prep Color Guard, and district members. We also had, on third week of school, Rescue a Generation come by and have an assembly for our 9th and 10th graders. It was an assembly to help encourage students to achieve academic success. They will also be coming back to have intervention classes in September and an anti-bullying assembly in October. We also had a senior meeting / prom reveal. At this meeting, we had all our senior students come by and we shared information about the upcoming events in the year that they will enjoy. We also have after-school tutoring from Monday to Friday, except for Wednesday, where students can come in and get extra help on every subject they need. We also provide free supper after the tutoring and a free bus home.
Okay, so we have a new event happening and it's called Parents on Duty. Parents on Duty, any father, mother, grandfathers, or grandmothers, any family member can come and help and motivate all of our students to focus on their education and dedicate their time to their academic pursuits. We also have our College and Career Center, where we have counselors being extremely busy with new students and scheduling students to meet the A through J requirements as well. We also have upcoming scheduled college presentations, which are, one of them is the University of California, Riverside, also UC San Diego, and Cal Baptist University. And we also have a heritage program where we encourage African American students at Adelanto High School to address their academic needs and for them to complete their A through G requirements. We also have tomorrow our homecoming game themed Whiteout. We come to celebrate the start of an active school year. With the plans of having the Whiteout game, we plan to have all our attendees show up in bright attire. We also have this Saturday our homecoming dance, which will be hosting an enchanted homecoming dance where students will dance the night away in semi-formal attire. We also have September 9th, a staff appreciation game, which is going to be our blackout game. We are going to show our faculty members and to capture the gratitude we have for their presence on their campus. Thank you for your time, and you guys are invited to every event, and welcome.
Thank you. Carlos Martinez. That would be Silverado.
Hello and good evening. My name is Carlos Martinez, and I'm the senior class president at Silverado High School. I'm sure you're all aware of the shooting that occurred on Friday, August 12th. We have taken action in increased security and increased rules and regulations, but we as a student body would feel more comfortable if those same restrictions were mandated district-wide. Not only can it take place at Silverado, but it can take place anywhere, and we don't want to wait until something happens to make a change. On August 26th, Zoo Crew made an official comeback after being inactive for 3 years. Zoo Crew is a club consisting of a large group of students who show off their hawk pride at most sporting events. They create memorable experiences for parents and students by cheering on our athletes and this Monday we had something that is called a Mindfulness Monday, where we provided a space where students can meditate and decompress. There were bubbles, reflections, and even frozen treats at the end of it. And just yesterday, August 31st, we hosted our back to school night. Many parents and students participated, and we also had a number of clubs selling concessions, which became quite successful. In September, we are organizing a club fair on the 15th. Every club on campus will be given the chance to fundraise for the club. It is during our 5th and 6th period, and many concessions include tacos, which are made by our very own Hawk Cafe, cotton candy, and even elotes and esquitas. This coming month in September, we are planning our homecoming week, full with pep rallies, even our homecoming football game, which ASB will be performing at our halftime show. So we invite you to come out on Friday, September 23rd. And we are also planning for our homecoming dance on Saturday, September 24th. The dance will be held in our senior quad, and the theme is Once Upon a Time. We are expecting about 600 guests to participate, with tickets starting at $35. And I thank you for your time and allowing me to speak on behalf of Silverado Student Body. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Okay, Trinity Winfield from Sims.
Good evening. I'm Trinity Winfield. I'm the Executive Vice President at Sims. We had student orientation on August 2nd. The student store was open to sell uniform, PE clothes, and ASB cards. August 3rd, returning students were able to come on campus and purchase those same items. The first day of school, ASB provided music and guided students to their first period class. We would like to thank the district for providing a red carpet and balloons. All the students enjoyed the festive entrance. Picture Day, Olsen Photography took pictures on August 17th for IDs as well as yearbook. IDs were given out that day and pictures will be delivered in a few weeks. Athletics, cross country, and volleyball began tryouts and are getting ready for their upcoming seasons. Senior Sunrise and Water Wars. Seniors met in the quad at 6 a.m. on the first day of school to celebrate their senior year as the sun came up. Snacks were provided. Senior class officers organized Water Wars to celebrate their senior year. Club Fair. Club shared information to students during both lunches on August 23rd. That evening, during back to school night, the club shared information and sold snacks to families. Kona Ice and J&R Tacos were selling food to families and donated back to the class of 2024 and 2026. Skate Night. Class of 2024 is sponsoring a skate night at Holiday Skate tonight at 6 from 8 to 30 p.m. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, last but not least, Helen Frias from Lakeview.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Helen Frias, the Lakeview Leadership Academy ASB president. So I just want to tell you guys about some of the events we have coming up. So on September 14th, we have our back to school night where the class ofs and the clubs have a chance to sell to fundraise for their class or club. Tomorrow will be our first pep rally where we will also be explaining the rules that we have at our school campus. This week was our first Spear Week, and tomorrow is also Senior Sunrise at, I think it was 5:45 in the morning. Next week is Suicide Awareness Week, and ASB is planning to do activities at lunch to spread awareness. The class of 2023 is having an In and Out fundraiser where the truck will be coming on September 15th after school. Tomorrow, the seniors will also be interviewing the mayor of Victorville and asking them any questions they may have. Rescue a Generation is also coming to our campus in September. Amazing Grace Resource Center has been walking around our campus during lunch 3 times a week. And our school is now becoming Avid school-wide, and every 9th grader right now has Avid. That's it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, all student representatives, if you feel free that you need to leave, feel free to do so. The rest of the meeting is pretty boring at this point in time.
Hey. No, you're right.
But yeah, you know, they got other things. They got homework to do. They got things to get done. You know, I get it. But great job tonight. But you're welcome to stay. You definitely can stay.
Patrick.
I see Carlos sneaking out.
Okay, VVTA.
Mayo is here tonight.
All right. Good evening, Board, Cabinet. I'm Mike Mayo, President of Victor Valley Teachers Association, and welcome again, Mr. Coles. As you've heard, a lot of them have already kind of said some of the issues that we have, and so I'm just going to capitalize on a little bit of what they've already said. Class size issues. All right. There are obviously still some class size issues that need to be addressed, and especially over at Adelanto High School. And I do appreciate you reaching out to us and saying that you'd like to discuss this and try to make sure we can get this under control. And so we do appreciate that. We also still have, as far as grievance issues, our grievance team. They actually been doing a pretty incredible job. They've been working with our general membership to address contractual issues and resolve them informally before we feel the need to move to grievance level 1, which so far we haven't had to do, but I have to admit we get pretty close to the class size. I would like to thank Dr. Rubalcaba for quickly addressing our counselor caseload in special education. That was well handled. As far as I have heard, they are being addressed. However, my hope is that you listen to the concerns from our members, just like you've heard earlier, and specifically over at Lakeview about the number of students that are trying to learn in their classes. I think that you've heard that. Retiree issues. This is something that's a little bit off of what we normally discuss, but we have former members who have reached out to me. I would like to thank Shantae Milton and Debbie Deal for replying to me so quickly when I explained that there have been multiple retired members that are concerned that their compensation is not there as reported in their CalSTRS. I think a lot of that comes from backlog with CalSTRS, just being realistic. And so I understand there are going to be some issues there. Just realize that when we hear this coming from former members, we are definitely going to be reporting it back out to you so you are aware that that's what we're also hearing. And hopefully that's all it really is, just kind of backlog from compensation for retroactive pay. Right, I wanted to make sure I also address this as part of the meeting minutes so now everybody's aware, the whole public is aware. I know that Fran already highlighted this specifically when he's talking about having healthy foods available for students, and we have the money for it. And honestly, it's not going to cost much. Maybe even using ESSER funds if it's possible. We know that there's a lot of money there that will expire if it's not going to be used, so maybe even looking at that if it's a possibility. And that leads me into community schools. Now, I was going to speak about community schools, and then I found out earlier tonight that he was already going to be speaking on it, and so I thought, well, there's some other things that we should probably mention. We know that an OCR report came out, and I heard just before this meeting, about maybe 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago, that we even made CNN. And it's not for a good thing, all right? And so we recognize the importance of that report and how it makes this district look. And I think that if we do move toward community schools and we really do it in a collaborative manner, I mean, in a seriously collaborative, not meaning that we just check a box. And we had somebody from CSEA stop by and say hi, and somebody from VVTA did too. Okay, we talked. That's not good enough. We need to make sure we're bringing in everybody. That means business. You have business owners around the area. We have parents, the students themselves. They have to become part of this process. And so when we put it together, I think that's one way that we can actually aim towards healing. All right. This is something that I had to add just recently because this came up when I stopped by Lakeview Leadership Academy. I do appreciate some of the leadership from here coming in. Dr. Bokaba, Dr. Yee, you were there. We had both superintendents, Moman and Coles. Thank you for being there because there are strenuous issues at Lakeview Leadership Academy. And I would argue some strenuous issues were kind of already there. While I was on the site, and I had a chance to actually visit a couple of classrooms, but actually what first kind of concerned me was I got a call from a non-member. In case you were unaware, we actually have county people who are there, and they're actually renting some of that area in Lakeview. And part of that rental agreement means that we keep the campus safe, we keep the campus clean. And she came to me, and I thought, that's interesting. She's not even one of my members. And she did not feel that it was being addressed at the district office. And she did mention a couple of names to me. I'm not going to mention them here because, again, it's hearsay at this point, but I do think it's best if we actually look into it. I did speak specifically to some members, asking them about the conditions because I want to see, well, is there any truth to any of this? Because I don't want to go in and get upset unless there's a reason to. And looking at a couple of the classrooms, I was looking at like the carpeting. It doesn't look like it's been shampooed in a long, long time. And I asked them about that specifically, and one person said, oh, it's been over 6 years. Another person said it's been over 7 years. You know what that tells me is that the whole time through COVID, I mean, those are COVID years. COVID starts in 2019, right? But then we don't really get a big reaction until around 2020. But that's still covering those years, which means that, it wasn't only the district's issue on that site to make sure that we have a clean, safe campus for staff and students. It was also our issue. And here's where I'm going to go ahead and take the hit. Because as VVTA president, I'm recognizing that we have something that, and it's a communication problem. I've talked to you guys up here about communication problems at the district office. And I'll admit, we need to focus more on our communication at VVTA because I was honestly not aware it was quite like that. And one of the classrooms I visited had their own vacuum. I asked them about that. Why do you have your own vacuum in here? It's because my room will never get vacuumed otherwise. And so Lakeview Leadership Academy needs some tender love and care. And definitely address the class size issue. I'm not trying to skirt past that. Absolutely, that's important. But students need to feel like they're in a clean and safe environment. I know Fran said it earlier. You need to go kind of back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if that's not being dealt with appropriately, how are they going to effectively learn? Okay. Oh, hey, I'm almost done. Good. Okay, something else that's very important. We have endorsements. We went through the process for endorsing candidates. VVUHSD Board of Trustee candidates have spoken to our representative council. Our political action committee organized the questions and the interviews for all the candidates seeking our endorsement. And those interviews did happen. We had a follow-up session with 2 candidates written in the same area, specifically to answer questions from our general membership. Afterward, our PAC reported out its recommendations to our rep council, and the members of said council had until the end of last weekend, so Sunday, to vote and determine who VVTA would endorse. So I'll mention those here now. In Area 4, VVTA endorses Josh Garcia. Area 5, VVTA endorses Penny Edmiston. In Area 2, VVTA's rep council chose no endorsement. I have said it once before, and I will say it again. VVTA is committed to working with whomever takes their seats as the Board of Trustees of VVUHSD. Everybody have a good evening. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys. All right, Mike, thank you so much. And we can move on to CSEA.
Hi, y'all. Greetings, Board of Trustees, Cabinet, and a very warm welcome to you, Mr. Carl Coles. My name is Danica Williams, and I am the second Vice President for CSEA. I am here today to speak on behalf of CSEA Chapter President Tanya Martin, who couldn't be present this evening for the meeting. Being a classified bargaining unit employee has been very challenging over the past few years, but has gotten more challenging as of late. Some of our leaders are being retaliated against, provoked, and bullied by some members of management. CSEA has spoken about these behaviors on multiple occasions and on multiple platforms. However, the behaviors continue. CSEA has utilized all avenues to rectify the problems on several occasions in the past to no avail. Even with all that we have experienced in the past or are currently experiencing, we are hopeful that Mr. Coles is coming with an open ear, a willingness to hear our concerns, and the mindset to correct the inappropriate behaviors of his management team. Although we realize Mr. Coles is new to this district, we also recognize and appreciate that he comes to us with a wealth of knowledge and experience to create new norms. We simply cannot continue to proceed with the old guard mentality. We simply cannot continue to protect and shield managers who may not be good for this district. CSEA has always had and will continue to have a collaborative mindset. We will continue to do whatever it takes to get our jobs done. We will continue to negotiate items in good faith that directly affect our classified staff and the students of this district, and we will continue to work with and support VVTA. Again, a very warm welcome, Mr. Coles, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you. Okay, we can move on to consent items. So let's move on to the consent items. We're going to take 7.1 through 7.6. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and vote.
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Oh.
Yeah, he gets to go. Yeah.
That's right. You get a vote.
Miss Dew? Yeah, that's fine. And Miss Edmondson?
Yes.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well.
Would it be more helpful to Mr. Singer to vote at the end?
Sure, we can do that.
If
Absolutely.
You want to vote at the end?
Oh,
You
man,
won't,
he's
no,
number
you vote
one.
first. You vote first.
well, that puts a lot of pressure on him.
Wait a minute.
No pressure. He's a baseball player. It's all pressure.
He's a baseball.
Yeah, that's right. Just yes
He
or no,
brought
right?
all his team in here to.
It's like calling balls and strikes, you know?
That's right.
It's all good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm calling it for 6-year-olds. I gotta remember people behind the fence.
Yeah, the
But
coaches are back there and
Yeah.
everything.
It's all good. But you actually have a real professional umpire sitting right next
I
to you,
would
though.
say, yeah, I've
so-
heard about this guy.
Yeah. He's on ESPN. He's throwing a few guys out, you know,
Yeah.
so.
I think I might like my umpires more if they look like that.
Love it. Okay, let's move on. So there's these two that you won't vote on, so just know that I didn't skip you on purpose, okay?
Nope, you're good.
So 8.1, certificated
moved.
personnel, thank you. Second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.2,
So moved.
Second.
thank you. And we'll vote. Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, now we'll
Now
have you
you
join
vote.
the party
Now
here.
you're back up.
8.3,
So moved.
Second.
okay. Any discussion? Okay.
I have questions.
Question?
Brett or someone, will we have warranties on the roof as well as the HVAC units? Because it always seems like, oh darn, it just went out of warranty. So is everything warranted, the work that they're gonna do on top of the roofs as
So
well
the
as
warranty on
units?
the unit itself is, I believe, a 15-year warranty, and the contractors are warranted it for 2 years on labor.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So that was the cheapest one,
That was the cheapest one.
Of course.
huh? $9 million.
9.7.
9.7, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. We're gonna go this way. Mr. Barrios.
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda.
Aye.
Miss Edmondson.
Yes.
Miss Dew.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Singer.
Aye.
All right.
Oh.
There we go. 8.4.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios.
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda.
Aye.
Miss Edmondson.
Yes.
Miss Dew.
Aye.
Mr. Singer.
Yes.
And I vote aye. 8.5.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios.
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda.
Aye.
Miss Edmondson.
Yes.
Miss Dew.
Aye.
Mr. Singer.
Yes.
And I vote aye. 8.6.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Mr.
Aye.
Barrios? Thank you. Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Miss Edmondson?
Yes.
Mrs.
Aye.
Dew? Mr. Singer?
Yes.
I vote aye. 8.7.
So moved?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Let's go and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
And I vote aye as well. 8.8.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Let's go and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Mrs. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
And Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Thank you, and I vote aye. 8.9.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Any discussion? Let's go and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.10.
So moved?
Second.
Thank you. I got Mr. Barrios on the second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Keenan, Jose, help me. Are they the ones that facilitated the retirement?
Yes, they did
Yeah.
their.
Because Mike, you mentioned it, but I've also been approached by retirees specifically in 2021, so not this past year, but the year before, that their retirement checks were not calculated correctly based upon the salary being off. And then I've heard they were told, well, it's the county's fault, and the county says, no, it's the district's fault, so it's kind of going back and forth. So I'd appreciate if you could check into that.
Yeah, we'll check into it, and we'll give you an update, and we'll give EVTA an update as well.
Okay, thank you.
And just
Keenan
one
is the
thing on that, Penny, said Cal Stirs is on top of it. I mean, because, well, I'm living it, because my wife just retired, but, you know, she got one check, and then they get a note, your benefit's gonna go up this much. So as they get the information, they update your benefit, and they will pay whatever back, whatever
Whatever
is
they
owed. That's
need
what some
to,
people don't
yeah.
understand. They
They
figure
don't
it's
know
like
that.
most government entities where they just say, yeah, and forget about it. No. STRS is on top of it. And PERS is a little bit slower, but they're still on it pretty good too.
Is Keenan also the ones who facilitate that the health insurance is provided up until age 65, or is that the
I
district?
think that's our
That's
health
us.
insurance, that's our insurance provider.
Okay, so what
That's
Mr.
us.
Hume brought up, and I appreciate you meeting with him to find that out.
Fantastic.
I'm Shantae Milton, Director of Fiscal Services. So I have been personally working hand in hand with Keenan since March of 2022. So since we calc their benefits in March of 2021 based on their salary at the time, and so the 2021 retirees were initially paid based on their salary at the time. Once we processed the retro payments, then we went back with Keenan. We had to negotiate new deals because we have United of Omaha, who's the annuity deal. Then we also have Mid-America. So we had to, recalc and negotiate new deals with them, and then they then proceeded to make payments to the retirees. One thing that complicated the payments for VBTA, which are is Cal Stirs, not only did we give them retroactive increases of 5% and then the one, the off schedule increase, but we also during that time we negotiated column changes and we negotiated longevity changes at the same time. So that did kind of complicate the calculations for their salaries at that time. All of those calculations have been corrected and reported to Keenan. And to my knowledge, all of the payments to the retirees at this point, at this time, have been made and processed. I take that back. The only one change that I know that's still outstanding is the column changes. So we have a handful of column changes who changed from column 4 to column 5. Those are still outstanding. But all of the other ones that were either longevity increases or increases due to retroactive payments, those have been processed. The issues with the county and the reporting to Cal Stirs itself, now that really truly is kind of an unprecedented issue that we're having due to all the changes and due to the county having to process so many retroactive payments for so many school districts because we all have surpluses of funds. They are just truly behind with their reporting. They're behind with their Cal Stirs audits. So I am checking in with the county the retirement department on a weekly basis to get an update on the reporting. We have prioritized our retirees. We sent them a list specifically of the retirees that retired over the last couple of years, and so they are prioritizing them. On last week, 8/25, they reported to me that no, they had not reported, but their hope is that they will get it reported by September. However, we have heard that before, and I have been reporting that out before, to different retirees, but we will keep working with them. We will keep in touch with them. There is nothing that we can do on our side. It has to be the County of San Bernardino that reports to CalSTRS.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Because, I've had it before when you get back pay, and for retirees, if you're on a fixed income, that could be, taxation could become a problem, because a lot of times if they're giving you a lump sum for what they should have been paying you monthly, then they think, oh, you know what, they're in this really high income bracket and they take out a whole bunch of money. Are we making sure that that doesn't happen?
So that's tax. So I think you're speaking of possibly the retro payments. Now, the payments that are made.
Yeah, the retro payment.
The retro payments. So that's a little separate from the payments that are made further into their retirements, because those are made either into annuities or into Mid-America, and those don't have the same tax implications. But for the retro payments, perhaps I'll work with the administration, and perhaps I can work with HR to get a list of retirees. What I would recommend is that we would probably need to get new tax forms in for them, and that goes for anyone. And so, as we know, we are processing another retro, 7% for the 21-22 year. So what my recommendation is that anyone who has that concern, they would need to turn in new tax forms to us, because we will tax based on whatever their last tax records were with the district when they were employed.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's call for vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
I vote aye. 8.11.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, this looks like a wonderful program, so kudos to Atalanto for setting this up. I'd like to know how the 45 students are chosen, because it would be great if we could send all the students. Does anyone know?
Ms. Purcell
Thank you,
does.
Ebony.
Good evening. Before I begin with this, thank you very much for our new football field. We greatly appreciate it, and all the wonderful upkeep of the campus. So in the Heritage Program, students, after a transcript review, were put into certain levels. Level 1, meaning on track for A through G, and Level 4, those at risk for not graduating high school. The students are selected from Level 1 in their junior year. Those that are college bound, we do believe that the exposure to these types of schools and these experiences will be life-changing for them as they're beginning to make their decisions as to what they're going to do and where they're going to apply. So it would be a first come, first served in the Level 1, and of course, being that we are going to be going out of state, it is requiring parent permission, so some families may not be comfortable with their students going so far for so long.
This is wonderful. They're getting to see all of those colleges, Spelman, and it's wonderful. I know at one time we had the HBCUs come to your campus, and I think another time they came to another campus at our site. Is there any chance we can get them to come back?
I'm sure Ed Services has connections, and they're working on it. We would gladly host that event again.
Okay, because some of our students got scholarships on the spot. That'd be great. Thank you. What a great program. Thank you for arranging that.
All right, let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Absolutely.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Okay, and Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.12.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes. Dr. Yee, our speech teachers, if I read this correctly, this is contracting out for someone to monitor our speech teachers, but aren't they evaluated by a manager, an administrator on our site?
Yeah, we currently don't have speech teachers, but all of our contracts for speech services come from the outside.
So we have no speech teachers. So I thought we had a couple, and this was monitoring those few that we had. We have none?
So there's supervisors and then there's assistants,
So this is to contract for the non-public agencies to provide supervision for the speech aids, because there's a new change in the professional speech organization that they must have somebody supervising them at least once monthly. And unfortunately, we couldn't use the ones that we already hired to provide the assessment, because that would be double dipping on their schedule. So we had to look for another non-public agencies to provide that services.
So this is a live person providing speech
Yes.
for us. We have two, but they're not certificated or fully credentialed, and they're working under the umbrella
Of
of ProCare Therapy.
Yes.
And so ProCare Therapy would be doing the evaluations and monitoring of these two interns, or?
Yes, that's how it
Okay.
works. And unfortunately, those ones that we have in-house cannot attend IEP meetings. So ProCare will be the one providing the speech pathologists that will do that for us.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. Thank you. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes?
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Okay, 8.13,
So moved?
Second.
any discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.14,
So moved?
Second.
any discussion?
How wonderful. We have this aviation program in our CTE. That's a huge feather in our cap for all of our students. That's great.
Absolutely.
It's been there for a while, and he's doing a great job, because he basically developed the whole program by himself.
Wow.
That's awesome. All right, Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.15,
So moved? Second?
okay, there we go. I got Ms. Dew as a second. Any discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.16,
So moved?
Second.
any discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
Vote aye. 8.17,
So moved?
Second.
any discussion?
Yes, for this and the next few that are coming after it, I'm wondering why we haven't looked for a piggyback bid with another district that might lower the cost, or were these?
Yeah.
Yes, they're on a Irvine piggyback bid.
Okay.
All of our CDW purchases on one
I
bid.
didn't read it in there, but I knew we usually did do that.
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
thank you very much.
Perfect.
was
Mr.
easy.
Barrios? Oh, sorry.
He's expecting more.
Yeah, that was a
instead of-
lot more than that, yeah.
He thinks I'm just waiting to come up with some big deal, huh?
Well, Dave, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I would like to report, just because I wouldn't want to report it, is that part of this order was 400 laptops for teachers, and I'm happy to report after the chip shortage and everything, we did receive them 2 weeks ago. My staff's been working diligently to get them done, and we should have them at the sites next week. And this is another 200 to fulfill all the orders, but we should have them to the teachers checked out within the next 2 weeks. I'm going to make the principals the ones that'll be the bad guys to pick who gets them. But
She's been complaining about computers.
Yeah.
Since like 2019.
Well, then it's
There
about
you go. It's
time.
about time, right?
2019.
Yeah.
My mom's been complaining about that busted old district computer for so long.
Okay, let's go and vote. Mr.
Put her at
Barrios?
the top of the list.
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.18,
So moved.
Second.
all right. We can vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
I vote aye. 8.19,
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Barrios? Oh, I'm sorry, discussion? Mr. Barrios?
You're going so fast.
I know,
dude.
I got ahead of myself.
Aye.
There you go. Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 8.20,
So moved.
Aye.
I got a so moved on Caleb, and I've got a second over on Mr.
That's
Barrios.
fine.
I have a discussion.
We'll do that. Yes, go ahead.
It said that we're replacing these toolboxes, 10 of them. Why did they need replacement?
They probably-
Are the tools old? Are they?
Probably are.
No, the tools aren't old, but since they've been doing an inspection of the equipment that's in our transportation department. So this one's the toolboxes, and I think you guys will see, I think we already voted on one, but they're in disrepair, they're not safe.
Okay.
And so we need to get them
Okay.
replaced.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
I vote aye. 8.12, or excuse me,
So moved.
8.21. So moved by Mr.
Second.
Barrios, second by Penny. Okay, any discussion?
Yes. It mentions the A through G learning loss mitigation funds. Is that the same as ESSER funds?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
Mr. Singer?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Okay, so 9.1,
So moved.
I don't think Seymour votes on
Yeah,
this.
you won't
Second.
vote on these ones, okay? Thank you. Let's go ahead and vote. Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, 9.2.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Mr. Castaneda?
Aye.
Ms. Edmondson?
Yes.
Ms. Dew?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, 10.1, conference request, 10.2, educational study trip requests. Did I say 8.2? I'm sorry, 10.1, 10.2, my apologies. 10.3,
Information.
any questions on the first reading?
No, just a comment, because we did have a public comment about our board policy revisions. I know that we've worked really hard to keep up with CSBA and the board policies that they have encouraged us to update, but I know that we've got to catch up with the merit system, and that unfortunately might take a little bit of time. But I know that we try to keep up with CSBA's suggestions.
I do have a question.
Yep.
Is it, what exactly are we revising? Are there certain rules that just needed updating?
We
or is
have
it-
policies, how we have to govern
Yeah.
our district, how we have to work towards our district, and things go out of date, things come into date,
So
things
it's just
change
certain
for
things,
legality.
It's not like a whole new program coming in.
It's not a
split.
program, but it's the procedures that we have to follow to make our, as a board, that we have to follow to make sure we're doing our job correctly.
Could he get the link to the board policy so he can search them?
Have fun.
Test it next time.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So,
Hey, you're trying to
You'll have a
scare
great
him off,
time with it.
okay?
Easy guts has to worry about.
so anytime a legislation change, we have to update the policy to
Yeah,
be
so it's not-
in sync with
Come from anywhere.
2020, two?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
instead of 1940. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to 11.1, business services. I know she's not here. Do we have any, we're good? Okay,
Shante, nothing good.
all right.
And we don't do it.
11.2.
California School Board
Ed services.
Association does it.
All
I'm a
right, good
delegate
evening,
on
everyone.
that.
Just quickly, first of all, welcome, Mr. Coles. Good to have you. First day. It was kind of hopping today. So welcome. And also, congratulations to all of our students who came here this evening. And just a lot to be proud of. And just, I appreciate all the shout-outs as well, too, from the different sites. That was nice to hear what was going on at our sites. Also, just a couple of things from Ed Services. We've been rolling out our EL priority to the sites. We're about 25% done, so I want to thank Maura Balmaceda, who is our EL coordinator, Terrellyn Eward, who's our math and science coordinator, and also Dr. Byer, who's our ELA and history and everything else. So they've been going around to different sites during collaboration days and really talking about the EL roadmap, talking about designated and integrated ELD, and really providing some strategies for our teachers to support our English learners in their education. And then I've been going out, I call it my little road show with my my instructional guide. And I have visited, Victor Valley was the last one last week, and then a couple weeks ago was Lakeview. And just appreciation for being able to roll that out and really provide that coherence and alignment across the district. So I've really enjoyed that. And also back to school night. Yesterday was the virtual academy, so I attended virtually. And it was nice. We had probably about 40, 50 parents attended. And so Kevin and Joe did a really good job. So, and then Victor Valley had theirs, so Chris and his amazing staff. That was really nice. I have yet to see kids wanting to take selfies with the principal. I thought that was pretty awesome. I'm going around and I'm like, is he a celebrity? Because the kids just,
Not that his shoulders always got thick.
Is that it? Sorry, I opened that one.
Remember, you still have to graduate this
So again, just thank you everyone for being here this evening, and have a good evening.
All right, thank you. Okay, human resources.
Good evening, everyone. Want to piggyback on that. It was great to go to our back to school night events. Went to Silverado, went to UP. Our principals and school communities are doing a great job. The response has been very positive. They're very well attended, very well organized. People are really giving us positive feedback. Team HR is doing an amazing job. We have hired over 100 classified employees and a little over 60, close to 70 certificated employees. But we keep adding positions because as of this morning, we have 11,283 students, which is incredible. It's actually a good problem to have. So we are committed to hiring more staff as needed. to working collaboratively, as Mr. Coles mentioned, with VVTA and CSCA. So just wanted to put that out there as well. Want to share a very positive human resources. The board recently, a few months ago, approved a platform called NeoGov. And today, Team HR attended its first training for its implementation. The team will also be going to a training coming up this month as well. So just wanted to let the board know we are moving forward with its implementation. Want to congratulate the contributions, Hispanic Heritage Month. Want to thank the community for its contributions and all the leaders and celebrate that culture. Finally, want to welcome Mr. Coles. We're super excited to have you as our leader and looking forward to working with you. And welcome to Patrick and your contributions, sir, as our student board member.
Okay, fantastic. Legislation. Don't think we had anything. coming up,
There was a
right?
handout we got.
Was there?
Was it
We did?
legislation?
I don't think there was nothing much coming. Yeah, I think
A week without legislation, oh my.
Well, they're all home campaign.
They're trying to get rid of that.
That's
Actually,
true,
everybody's
yeah.
at home.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so let's
session's almost over.
move on to, let's go to board member comments. We're going to start with Mr. Singer.
You've heard it probably enough times today, but I'm gonna tell you again, because it coming from them and it coming from me is definitely two different things. Our baseball field is a wreck outside of regular high school, and I at this point going to practice feels like I'm back at Hook Community Park, and it's bad. One of my friends just yesterday, we were hitting fungo to each other in the infield, getting ground ball reps before we actually started getting into drill swing practice. We tossed one up, fouled it back, and it went directly through the hole in the fence in our backstop. And if someone had been sitting in the stands, probably would have knocked him out,
Been an issue.
done worse, blood. It would have been a mess if there were people in the stands and it was an actual game. We also understand that only one or two of us has enough yard space and has the capabilities to have cages or mounds in our backyard to practice with, because at this point, at where we are at, that's the only place we're going to get to practice from October to March, because the sun goes down at 4 o'clock. We get out at 3:16. By the time we have our gear on, we have 10 minutes of light left, and it's also on the horizon right over there, so we can't see anything anyway. We also need locker rooms because, as Emilio Spolci's dad said, we force ourselves to sweat during the school day because we wear shorts underneath our jeans so that we don't actually have to change in the dugout. We just slip the jeans off. We already have the shorts on. We're ready for practice. We don't have anywhere to change. We have a locker room that is considered a locker room. It's an old portable. It's not a classroom anymore. And all we do is store old hats, shirts, and jerseys in there. And we're not allowed to change because it's too close proximity and too many people. COVID guidelines shut that down real quick. Varsity has a bigger advantage. We've got 3 brick walls all around us. JV doesn't even have dugouts. JV's got benches with open fence all the way around them. So that's completely unreasonable to expect them to change for a game or a practice out there like that. We also need bathrooms. We spend the first 15 minutes of practice every day losing light as the days go by, trying to figure out what is the closest bathroom that is unlocked. The closest bathroom that's usually unlocked right now, if the maintenance department will answer the door when we knock, we use their building right there next to our field. But most of the time they've been closing 30 minutes before our practice starts, which means our closest bathroom, we have to walk out of our center field gate, down the stairs onto what's called the shelf, down past that onto the closest in the ground building, and go to the bathroom in there. It's a 10-minute walk from our dugout, and if you've got cleats on, 15 minutes because going downstairs sucks in metal baseball cleats. It's a struggle, and I would love to play a turf baseball field, but I despise the Adelanto baseball team with my entirety because that's Victor baseball, which means if I have to play home games at Adelanto High School, I won't be able to. We do not like them. Silverado's better, but Silverado is
We like everyone.
Well.
We like all of our teams.
Most.
Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
true.
choose a
We like them
favorite
till it's
styles.
game week, then it's a little different. But yes, we need updates to our field badly. Coaches have canceled practice before because our grass is too long, because our grass is too wet. It took 4 months to put a batting cage net up that we had to petitioned for months just to get the net, and then had to go knocking on the maintenance door every other day for weeks just to get them to put it up, which they told us when it was bought that it would be put up within the week. Yeah, that's all.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay. Mr. Barrios.
All right, well, first thing, welcome you, Patrick. We didn't get to do this earlier. Since this is gonna be your job, and I know you're kind of shy, but you're gonna come out of your shell here pretty soon, all right?
Thank you, sir.
And keep it up. All right, and let's see, secondly, we were talking about, okay, the Skills USA, like usual, they do a great job, and the teachers do a great job, and again, I've seen the parents go to these things. The one time I was able to make it to Skills USA, I mean, there was as many parents as there were students, so that was really exciting to see. And unfortunately, class size, that's the yearly issue, but this year it seems quite a bit worse. Looking at these numbers just from Adelanto High School, we got some fixing to do, all right? Because you can't achieve what we want to as far as teaching if you're having to play traffic cop all the time. And pretty soon, I'm sure somebody's gonna send the note to the district, here's the fire code about how many students you can fit in a portable classroom. That's inevitable. I'm surprised somebody hasn't thought of that yet. But anyway, so that's I'd like to see us follow the spirit of the rule where we have like Lakeview, which is kind of a hybrid thing. But the reason some of those things aren't in the contract is because those schools didn't exist when these articles were written in the contract. And I kind of know that because I was on the team when we wrote these issues. All right, so hope that'll get taken care of. And it's already been brought up, the thing with Mr. and Mrs. Hume, that's gonna be taken care of. And just to add one thing, even if it's bad it happened, but for example, Loki, she worked here, 25, 30 years. So that hurts even more, okay? And I know it'll be taken care of. All right, now the baseball field. Okay, that's been brought up all night long. And you know what, Patrick? And this is the God's honest truth. That facility was probably the best facility up here in the high desert at one time. For a couple of reasons. First, and I was told this by the maintenance boss then, because that's the first thing the superintendent saw when he drove into work. So if that place didn't look right, somebody had some explaining to do. All right? But I'm sure they'll get on it, and everything could be probably taken care of pretty quickly. The locker room might be a little bit more involved, but I understand what you're saying, and the dressing in the dugout, that's something administrators have been dealing with for years, okay? So anyway, they'll get on and take care of you guys. And last but not least, it was great to see so many of the student reps here, because it's been so long since we've seen them. Not you as the student board person, but the students coming up telling their stuff about their sites. So that's really great to see. Now we're getting those guys coming back, and it's always fun to hear them. And obviously, I'm not a great speaker, but I mean, some of those guys, 7th grade, and they're talking like pros almost. They're not going, well, you know. So that's really exciting to see. So anyway, that's all.
All right, Mr. Castaneda.
Got a few things. So welcome, Patrick. It's good to have you. You're going to be here. You're going to be here the whole semester? Is that how we're doing it?
I don't know how long it's at least this semester.
All right. Well, we look forward to working with you. Mr. Coles, welcome. It's your first day, and what a trial by fire, right? Board meeting on your first day of work. But he's been working before his first day. So, just a lot of what we talked about in class sizes. When I went to boardsmanship training, they had a little graphic ranking all of the school districts in San Bernardino County by class sizes, and guess which district has the highest class sizes in all of San Bernardino County. Now that was a couple of years ago, but I don't imagine a lot's changed. So it'd be good to kind of get those down, because that really does promote student success. Teachers feel feel the challenge, but more importantly, our students aren't getting the personalized attention that they need. So that'd be great if we could work on that. This is a feature. Are we going to have the students here like every month? I know we had talked about it. Is that the goal?
Mr. Coles has it. He's
Yeah,
got
I mean,
it.
I think one of the biggest things, is to have as much student involvement as possible. I think just hearing about the activities is, one of the highlights of being able to hear what's going on. But then also, when I chaired at the board, is I want to start a superintendent student advisory committee, and to be representatives of all of the schools, to be able to kind of work through from their lens of the important issues. And as we do that, then they would come here and they would report to you what was being discussed. It's an authentic process, and it gives everybody an opportunity to hear about the baseball field, hear about things that they're seeing through their lens. And as we do that, I have a big focus on results. I think one of the things about education, we can admire a problem pretty good, but then we got to do something with it. And so I think from a student lens, we can be able to do that, and then being able to report back to the board would be powerful.
Because I love that. I think that'd be great if that was. When I went to Silverado, I went to Silverado because they had a shooting. Well, that's the first shooting they've ever had. But people hear it and like, I think there's a tendency to, you hear something and then you think, oh, that's just what goes on, with that kind of. So it's really good to hear the good things that are going on in our schools. Because our schools, it's not a utopia, right? There's problems, but it's good to hear good things too. And the successful things that our schools are doing. So I really appreciate that. I think that's great. Food for our students in need. I mean, that we got the money, and that's a basic need. So that'd be great to see you working on that. I noticed you were writing like notes as people were speaking. So
Need more paper.
Teachers teaching on their prep. I know a lot of the teachers probably want to teach on their prep because it's more money. But my worry there is, like, if you're a first year or second year teacher, you don't have tenure, right? So like, it's voluntary, but is it really voluntary? It'd be good if, like, we just had a policy of, like, if you're in your first year or second year, we're going to support you, and we're not going to put that on you so that you don't have to feel obligated to say yes because you want tenure. Everyone wants tenure. I think that would be a good thing because they need to focus on their pedagogical techniques, getting a sense of the classroom, things like that. They don't need to be feeling like they're forced to sign up for preps. Consultants. Okay. So this is frustrating because the board needs to approve. And I think if you need it, like, there'd be no reason for the board not to approve it. So it's just like, why circumvent the board by going right under if that's happening? I'm not accusing you, but people are saying it's happening, so can that not happen anymore? Like, where you go right under? I'm not saying it's happening, but can that just not happen?
Yeah, let me get a kind of a full picture of the whole thing, and I whatever report that we give to you, we'll give to the associations too, that says, here's the actual contracts that we have that are under the amount that didn't get board approved, and then we can work through a policy that's amendable to the board with respect to that, because I had the same questions. How many? What's out there? We'll get to it, and we'll be extremely transparent about what it is and who it is and what the amounts were, and looking forward what we can do.
Yeah, because you could build a whole new middle school on just 9,999 contracts.
Yeah.
But that's not the right way to go. That's not. Baseball at Victor. We've talked about that. I believe you're going to work on that. The community school, that's a fantastic idea, and there's money for it. Biden administration will give us money to do that. I think it'd be great to do and meet the needs of our community, many of whom are lower income. We have homeless students, lots of foster kids, so that'd be a great addition. The OCR report, I mean, our district got a black eye. There's no denying it. You were not here for it, so no one's blaming you. But I want to echo what Mike said. If we get everyone on board trying to come up with solutions, because then it's not like, well, this is what the board is in district, this is what we're telling you have to do. That, to me, that just pits people against each other. If we could work together and say, let's get some ideas. Let's how are we going to address this? And everyone, you can't bring in 1,000 people, but bring as many people to the table as you can. Have it be the district's idea, and then you get the buy-in. And they're not doing it because they have to. They're doing it because we think this is going to work, and I think that's a more productive way. I know you'll do it. That's how you want to handle things. I'd like to have a request for data, suspension data. I didn't want to ask for this because we didn't have the staffing, but we did hire a new coordinator position specifically for equity purposes and meeting our needs under the stipulated agreement. So my thought is the board sort of needs to stay on top of this, because I think a lot of the board members were caught blindsided by this report. And if we could get suspension data, ongoing suspension data, and it needs to be like, if you just say, well, they've suspended 4% of the students so far at Lakeview, like that number's meaningless. We kind of need comparative data, like where 2 years ago, well, not 2 years ago, that was COVID time, but going back historical data to compare at various points in the semester, are we ahead of the game, behind the game, and also broken down by demographics? I know that's a lot of work, but I mean, that is what we're hiring that person for. And I think the board needs to stay on top of that, because the board, I know that there were members of the board that felt blindsided by the report, because they didn't really, they might have heard the term OCR report, but the board didn't necessarily understand what that was about. And then I want to speak, I've been talking mainly to you, Mr. Coles. I want to talk to the district because we have a new superintendent. And I kind of feel like the way this district, let me put it on the board. The way this board has run things has not really been the way things have supposed to work. The board's not supposed to micromanage the district. And frankly, we have. I'm not speaking badly. I think it's just natural. People come to you and you start looking into things. But really the board, you shouldn't be coming to us. We shouldn't be solving your problems. We know less about the problems than you do. We know less about the problems than the district does. What we need to do is all support our superintendent. Bring the problems to him, not the board. I mean, if Mr. Coles is not addressing them, then that's a different thing. It's our job to hold him accountable. But my approach going forward is going to be, I'm going to support my superintendent. If I disagree with it, well, he knows more about it than I do. I'm going to support my superintendent. Even if I disagree, I'm going to vote how he says. But the flip side of that is you're held accountable for the results, right? So, and I would hope that would be the approach that all of the board would do, and sort of stop micromanaging the district and give the district the space to do what they need to do and run the district, and then hold them accountable. That's our job, is to hold the district accountable, not to micromanage the district. So that's kind of going to be my way going forward, and I hope that that's how we can do that. It'd be a good, productive working relationship with our new superintendent. So that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Dew.
Well, everybody else said everything anyway, so I just want to welcome Mr. Cole and welcome Patrick, and thank you for all the information about baseball. I mean, I had no idea all of that was happening down there, so that seems to be our next project. We're going to put that together. A backstop, lights, and restrooms. And one of the things we're going to really have to be mindful of is lights everywhere, because kids now get out so much later that we have to have the lights for them. So that's one of the areas that we all need to check on everything. And when we have our meeting, we'll definitely be talking about things that we need to do and progress with. Congratulations on all the students that came tonight with the Skills USA. I thought that was great. It's always positive. And also for the students that came and gave the report of their schools. But I also want to hear from just regular students like him, who talks about the baseball field. See, we already got something that we didn't know about it. And so we want to work on that. And I want to hear from all the students, so I actually prefer to have a student from every school come and talk about what's going on at their school, so we'll know exactly what's happening at their sites. We'll work on that class size. I didn't realize we were having problems with class size like we are. So that's got to change, so we're also going to work on that, see what we can do about that. And I thought Lakeview was a high school. Now it's like high school and middle school. So I'm trying to figure that out. So we got to figure that out and make sure that that's corrected. So we can get that class size in the right area. It is Hispanic Month, and there are many, many, many Hispanics, and they come from all walks of life, all islands, all everywhere. And it isn't just one group. So, and it's something to be very proud of. So I do congratulate all the people that are of the Hispanic groups. And that's it.
Okay, Ms. Evanston.
Mr. Coles, I noticed you writing everything down. I appreciate that, and the follow-up that you'll give us to address the concerns and working with the association leadership, as well as the teachers who present to their leadership so that he can work with them. I do especially want to make sure that our students are fed. I know Jason would work really hard on that, and Robin, and they're very good about making sure that our students have what they need, but that's first and foremost. And we need class size to be manageable. It needs to adhere to the contract, and unfortunately it was written differently, and Lakeview morphed from the junior high to the high school and junior and high school, so we need to close that gap. And no one anticipated that Adelanto would boom as much as it did. So I did have a question if we could get some data. I don't know if you have it now or if you could get it to us later. How many more certificated do we need to hire, and how many more classified are slated? So if you can share that out. And I apologize if this slipped through the emails, but I have been asking the last couple meetings for our enrollment data, and it's something that Jackie used to do on that colored sheet, and it would go a few years back, but I haven't seen it, so I'm hoping that we can get that. Although, Ramiro, thank you, 11,283. I like that, but this report had it by site and by the last, by week or month for several years, so if we could get that. And I thank all the students for coming and being a part of our meeting so we can hear what's going on. We are here for the students, and we appreciate hearing things from them. You did a great job. Wonderful. Bring your concerns to us. Let us know, because we are here to help you and to make sure that other students are represented, and that's your job. So in addition to Victor High School, you have to represent Adelanto High School as well.
I already know people from other schools.
Okay, because we
You're
love
allowed.
all of you. We care for all of you. Okay, and then BBTA, thank you very much for your support. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming.
Fantastic. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, feel free.
Caleb, I think we need to consider having a later start time, because I know you've got a class on Thursdays. So I'm wondering, can we put it on the agenda next meeting so we can discuss? Is that something that we could consider doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
All
done.
right. Okay. You're up. Yeah, everybody's already definitely touched on everything that I would have had, so I'm just going to hit the highlight reel real quick. Teaching on your prep, I know there's nothing more annoying than getting that email in the morning by whomever that you see and you open and you're like, no, I know what this is. It's something we definitely got to look into, even if we have to bump up the sub pay. I mean, we got to get subs out there so that way our teachers aren't having to spend their prep subbing. The Skills USA competition, I think that's fantastic. Congratulations to our CTE programs that continue to flourish and grow. I know you said the insurance for the Hume family. I know we'll get that taken care of. We appreciate that. I know something so simple, that Fran was mentioning, Kleenex for classrooms. That sounds like a quick run to Costco or something like that. I know that's, you know,
Big run to
exaggerative,
Costco.
but I mean, this is something so simple, right? I do want to echo the community schools. I think that's a great idea. And Mr. Coles, I know that we'll have more conversations, I'm sure, especially when we go to our board workshops. We can definitely talk about those things. I know we've answered a lot of the questions about the retired members. The one issue that continues to come up, it seems like always, is Lakeview, as far as class sizes and whatnot. I think we really need to reevaluate that entire campus and see what the go-forward looks like there, what the future holds for them, that we can make things fair and equitable across the board. I'm going to end on this. Well, two things. One is thank you, VVTA, for the endorsement. I greatly appreciate it. Look forward to working with you in the future, and hopefully another 4 years. And the last thing I'm going to say is, yes, I played, and I am an alumni of Victor Valley High School, baseball alumni, actually. And yes, like I said, there has been nothing that has changed in the past 20 plus years. I think since Joe Vargas had the program. So that's been a few years ago. So if we do, do anything, we might have to name the benches or something after Joe, or we'll figure something out. But anyhow, yes, and I know during our meetings that we're going to have as far as our board workshops, we do have some coming up. Facilities are going to be one of those workshops that we're going to be discussing, and we know that we've already put that pretty high on our list for safety reasons and whatnot. We've kind of recognized that need for Victor Valley High School, and you have full support, I'm sure, from this board. So looking forward to that, and can't wait for a grand opening of whatever that may be. That'd be a lot of fun. You got a baseball guy superintendent, man. I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm sure, and he's going to be driving in here every day, and I'm sure he would like to see something nicer than what's already out there. So that's all I have. Thank you guys for everything. We can move on to Mr. Coles.
Just want to thank everybody for the warm welcome. It's been able to get out to 5 of the schools and meet with principals. I look forward to continuing to set up multiple one-on-ones. Kind of want to highlight what Mike said with respect to the OCR. You use the word healing. It's a lot of healing that needs to take place. We got to look at it as very factual information. And really address it from a transparent perspective, but then do something about it so that it never happens again. And analyzing the data is going to be really important, as requested. But it needs to be also put out to the public about what's being done. Something so public and a black eye to the district, requires community transparency that says, "I'm sorry, and this is what we're going to do to make sure that this doesn't happen ever again, and this is what we're doing about it now." And so I look forward to working through that. I also really would value the opportunity to solve these complex problems with both associations and with management. They're important to me. There really isn't a division between the district, the schools, and the staff. It's just one team. We all have to work together. District office cannot be successful without the success of schools. We're all interdependent of each other, and I look forward to doing that. The commitment that I've always had and will always maintain and continue to do is the district office works for school sites, not the other way around. There's no kids here. The kids are at the schools, and so we're going to continue with that mindset. And so a lot to accomplish, and we're going to keep chipping away one at a time. So I appreciate the welcome, and I think as Ramoni had said earlier, it definitely was a full first day. I also like to thank Mr. Moman for, walking with me, conversations about what's happening in the district, areas of need, and we'll just keep tackling them one at a time. And Patrick, as long as you're nice to your umpires, I will go walk that field tomorrow and see what's going on over there.
Practice Tuesday. We have an inter-squad on Tuesday.
Okay, all right, I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Love it. Mr. Moman, any comments?
We should have let
Mr. Coles go last. Mr. Garcia.
Hey, I'm just reading. I'm like the teleprompter.
Well, I wanted, first of all,
welcome, Patrick. Welcome, Patrick. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for great selection, having Patrick sit on our board. I definitely want to extend my welcome to Mr. Coles. And now I can take a back seat to Mr. Coles and just be his advisor and mentor as much as I can. And also I want to give kudos to our ASB kids who came here today to present, because this is what it's all about our kids, not about us. Want to also give kudos to our Skills USA kids. It's pretty awesome to see how our kids perform, because I did attend the Skills USA competition in Kansas City a few years back, and it's a real awesome event, and I would encourage anyone to go and see these kids compete. It is extremely competitive, and it shows you what our kids can do in our own district. Also demonstrate what our teachers are doing to impact our kids in a positive manner. With the Heritage Program, I want to give kudos to Dr. Yee, because she was the one who introduced the Heritage Program to our district. So it was our job to try to get it implemented and make it work. And we're seeing great results already in a short period of time. As far as the baseball field, actually we have already started to address the baseball field. We're looking at the numbers. We've been out there to look at the field in terms of no restrooms, the dugout, the backstop, dressing rooms, the whole works. So that's already in the works right now. So we'll have to bring Mr. Coles up to speed in terms of where we are and what we're trying to do to resolve the issue. But we have lighting issues throughout our district. So it's not just Victor. UP is an issue as well. We just had Mrs. Conco and I and Clarissa's last name, McNally. We've talked about how we can maybe combine and use the fields together, looking at schedules. So we're looking at different avenues and different ways to make sure that we can move forward with our baseball fields, our baseball games, because of the time change. So we know those are issues. But we're also looking at our kids that have to walk home. So we're looking at the safety issues as well. Because we have to be concerned about our kids, especially when there's a time change, those kids that are walking home. As far as Silverado High School, it wasn't a shooting initiated by anyone within our school site. It was just a shooting on our school site, in our parking lot, by non-students. But we did move expediently to try to resolve the issue, but we also looked at our other schools too to make sure that they're safe as well. So we've done a number of different things in our district to make sure that we're protecting the safety of our kids and our staff. So, but anyway, again, welcome, Mr. Coles. I look forward to working with you.
St. Mary's also, I met with them 2 days ago, and they want to meet with us to work with us in part.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, board, please do not go anywhere. We have a finance court meeting we got to conduct really quick. It shouldn't take too long. Item 1.1, can we call it to order?
So moved.
Yes, go ahead. I got Ms. Edmondson moving. I've got Ms. Dew as second.
Second.
Okay, it is open. We've got appointment of officers for the finance court. So it looks like we're going to need chief executive officer and chief financial officer and a secretary. So any motion to appoint anyone as the chief executive officer?
Who currently is in that position?
We got nothing on that.
Heather?
So there wasn't a finance court meeting last year.
Yeah, we didn't
In
have one.
2019, the last officers that were appointed were Chief Executive Officer was Tim Hawk.
so
Chief
this is old.
Financial Officer was
That's
Tim
more than
Norton.
a couple years.
That was 2019. And then Secretary was Dr. Williams.
Okay, so we got to move on. Okay, so anybody want to be the chief executive officer, finance corp?
I do.
Okay,
Barbara.
motion for Barbara.
So moved.
Second.
There you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, so Barbara, you are it. Okay, chief financial officer.
I nominate Josh Garcia.
There you go, okay. Do I have a second?
What the heck?
Yep, there you go, second. And then, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Caleb. Okay, secretary. I'll nominate Penny. Why not?
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. No, I can't.
Oh, you can't?
No, I can't, sorry.
If Dr. Williams.
Oh,
I
okay.
have too much on my plate.
No worries. All
Wouldn't
right.
wouldn't it be wise to
Or maybe
make
Mr.
him-
Coles?
you
Sure.
can make Mr.
So we'll make a
Coles
move to, a motion for
secretary.
Mr. Coles for secretary.
Yes,
I
yes.
Do I have a second? There we go, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Coles, welcome to the Finance Corp. I think that's the only ones that I see on here. We're good with that, Heather? Okay, perfect.
A lot of action on the finance board.
All right, information items, looks like we're good. Blah, blah. Okay, we got any public comment? No?
No.
Anybody want to
We
make
have-
any comments? No? Okay, regular meeting, this is today's meeting, I'm assuming. September 1, 22? Or is that supposed to say September 1 of like 23 for the next meeting?
Oh, yeah, probably.
So maybe September 1 of 23, so maybe we can amend that, okay? Adjournment,
So moved. Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned, fantastic.
Way to go, John.
All right, guys.